Hello everyone and welcome back to Coronavirus Corner. Oh, I've missed you all. But to be honest, there's been so much going on in political circles that I haven't felt able to do it all justice. Until this morning, old Patrick said, "You should do one of your recordings, Edna. The moment is ripe. It's like a bloody pantomime. Boris bleeping Johnson singing Happy Birthday while washing his hands and his mouth full of cake. And then onto the stage comes Dame Dick to investigate him. People should know what a..." Well, you get the idea. The thing is, he's right. Either Boris Johnson really didn't know the rules, which is unlikely, in which case he's a blithering idiot, or he did, and that makes him a lying hypocrite. But whether they were parties or work events, he lied about them ever happening, didn't he? And that should have been the end of that. But there's so many fingers in so many pies, aren't there? Watching the news this last couple of weeks has been like watching a really exciting last round of Pointless, when they've got their answers in just the right order and each one is tantalisingly nearer being the winner. So first we had outdoor parties or work events, and then indoor gatherings, and then finally Boris being the centre of an event where there was illegal singing and cake when you couldn't even munch chips together. The vicar was very upset. We couldn't even sing hymns for most of last year. And Mandy said he had to make do with a fairy cake for his birthday. And you know he's partial to a sugary treat. I remember he once snaffled a couple of French fancies at a harvest festival when he thought no one was looking. But then he tripped up over a chorister who was stood picking his nose, and they crashed to the ground together right in front of the photographer from the Bridland News. Oh dear. Bridland didn't stop talking about it until the next lot of knickers disappeared off somebody's washing lines and dominated the headlines. Auntie Nancy would have hated Boris Johnson. Not for his politics particularly, she just hated Prime Ministers in general. She said Churchill was a drunk, Harold Wilson got pipe smoke everywhere, and she never forgave Thatcher because she didn't take the VAT off sanitary pads when she had the chance. She wrote to her about it in red ink on a Kotex maxi. She never replied. Oh, I never told you about Maureen's wedding. It was lovely. We managed to hit a bit of the pandemic where we could gather legally, so that was a bonus. Although I think old Patrick was quite disappointed because he fancied a bit of law breaking. Anyway, the vicar married them. Oh, she looked radiant. She was in pale blue with neon pink accessories, and somehow it worked beautifully. I gave her a brooch of Auntie Nancy's that she'd bought when the three of us were in Paris. It was in the shape of a champagne glass with little sparkly diamonds coming out of it. I'd never worn it, and it was perfect for Maureen. I don't mind admitting I cried when she walked in on old Patrick's arm. We got his nose quite dry for a change, and he looked almost clean. And the vicar did a lovely service. He talked about love and laughter and said he was sure that Maureen and Eric would have plenty of both. And then we all threw compostable confetti and off we went to the reception, which was in a lovely little place on the coast. Charles said grace, and we had a lovely lunch with posh vegetables and wines I couldn't pronounce. And a lifeboat set off with a great noise just as Eric was starting his speech, and he shouted, "It's too late for me, lads, save yourselves!" And Maureen hit him with a horseshoe and he pretended it really hurt, and she was wailing, "Oh, Eric, what have I done?" And he said, "Look at this, everybody, we've only been married an hour and it's already an injury time." Oh, and then he winked at her and she blushed, and oh, it was such a lovely day. And as they were leaving for the station, she threw her bouquet right at me. Well, I didn't even put my hands out, but Lydia rushed over and sort of tipped it into my arms and winked at Charles. And he looked at me, a different kind of look. And then the vicar tripped over the photographer's tripod and the moment passed. But it was a lovely day. But then, of course, it was back to reality. Well, for those of us who didn't go to Sorrento. And really, that's been almost the only thing that's happened all year to punctuate the endless desert of pandemic living. We've been very lucky. Nobody's died of COVID, although old Patrick lost a very close friend in August, and he said he'd nobody to swear with now, so we'd have to put up with it. But we do, because we love him, mucus and all. If I'm sounding a bit sentimental, well, I've got a bit of news too. The moment passed on Maureen's wedding day, but on Christmas Eve, Charles proposed, and I said yes, and Lydia burst into tears, and Antonio weed in my handbag the little tinker. Well, as Charles said, nothing goes to plan in a pandemic. I was dreading telling Maureen. I put cotton wool in my ears, and I was glad I had. She shrieked so loud that Eric rushed into the room shouting, "What's up, Bettle?" And she said, "Oh, Eric, there's going to be another wedding." And he said, "Are you leaving me already, Maureen?" And she thumped him. And then we had a couple of glasses of Prosecco from Bridland Co-op. Today's sensible tip is, savour the happy moments. There are more than enough sad ones. But there's still joy in the world, even with a Tory government. As Auntie Nancy used to sing in the shower, spread a little happiness. I wish someone would tell Jacob Rees-Mogg. He looks like a coffin in human form. Anyway, I digress. Let's all try to find something to laugh about, even if it's only Michael Fabricant's hair. Poor chap. He looks like he's done a headstand on an Angora rabbit. You take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.